Find a mentor,
Yeah.
be a mentor,
Yeah.
be humble and know that you don't have all the answers. What does that mean to you?
Well, it means a lot to me because, so I lost my dad when I was 16, and I would say that it was kind of a contentious relationship in the first place. And as I look back, part of what spurred all of these kind of you know items or whatever you want to axioms, I don't care, whatever you want to call them. Okay, and they've always been percolating inside of me. But part of what spurred me to just start writing them down and kind of putting some notes around them and whatever else was the fact, I see in the world right now a lot of young guys that, to some extent, I'm not going to say are rudderless, but they're they have a lot of questions, and they don't necessarily um, have received the guidance
Mm.
that they needed or desired. And so I know what that's like because after my dad passed, I mean, there was no real male influence in my life until I walked into college, and I had a professor that saw something in me and invested in me, and he became a friend and a mentor, and challenged me to get outside of myself and get and to risk taking some chances, doing some different things. And with that came, some benefits, some things that have grew me, challenged me, grew me. Um, Not necessarily, you know, um, biblical, but
Mm.
as I got older, I saw the importance also of I don't understand everything. I don't know everything. So I need to find people who have gone before me, who have experienced things that I may have not experienced or gone through. They've gone through the same thing I've gone through or going through, and um, and be humble enough to say, "Hey, I don't know,
Hmm.
and can you tell me what your experience has been with this?" Um, and I think I will say one of the biggest blessings in my life, and I think Lisa would say the same thing, has been the opportunity that we've had to mentor young couples. Yeah, like you and Andy, young couples for the last 10 years. And we've developed some, I mean, really, truly, they have become a second set of children to us.
Hmm.
And in the process, what's funny is, as we have been mentoring, it's challenged us in our own lives to live out what we're telling everybody else to live out.
Mm.
So it's been a challenge to us, and
Yeah.
it's grown us. It's grown us individually. It's grown us as a couple. So I think it's important that everybody find mentors, not just a mentor, but mentors. It could be a professional mentor, it could be a relationship mentor, it could be whatever it might be, couples mentors.
Hmm.
Um, but then also to give back because you're ahead and you've learned things that other folks, younger than you,
Hmm.
have not experienced. And so you have something of value to pass on. So that's where that comes from.
So, how would you advise people to seek out mentorship?
Ask. I mean, really, it's
Yeah.
as simple as that. Ask.
Hmm.
Okay. Um,
Maybe a better kind of specific question actually on that would be, how would you advise people to evaluate someone to know that they would be a good mentor?
well, first I'd step back and look at their lives and go, okay, is this guy crashing and burning, or is there, does there seem to be some flourishing here? I mean, for us, uh, biblical background, biblical foundation, solid, a solid understanding of the word faithfulness, serving. I think you try and find folks that are doing those things, and somebody you just connect with. I mean, because you don't always connect with. I mean, even in our mentoring couples, you have certain couples that you connect with, and then there are others that you just don't, and that's okay, and that's okay. But it doesn't mean that you can't. Just because you don't connect doesn't mean you can't feed into them also. Okay, but there are some that when you do connect, it takes you to a much deeper level, a much more vulnerable level, and that's where when you have those and you find those people, that's where real growth on both sides can occur.
So how would somebody that wants to be a mentor, that feels as though they are kind of ready to give back in that way that you're speaking of, how do you make yourself available for that?
Well, I think you just serve. Okay, you find it through service. Excuse me. You can. It's as easy as just feeding into other people's lives. Okay, and then you just let it happen naturally. You don't walk around and go, hey, hi, I'm a mentor. Come, it's like, that's, no, you got another problem. You got some pride problem there. You're walking around with a little sign going, I'm a mentor, I'm a mentor. No, I think it's just serving. And it comes about naturally, and it's and it's just like we just have conversations, right? And so it's, you either connect or you don't. And then when you do, you don't force it. You just allow the relationship to develop.
So it seems like it kind of plays into a level of humility on both sides.
Very much so. Yeah, very much so. And I think right now I am I'm getting ready to take a course in Christian leadership coaching. And so they make a point. So there's a huge difference between mentoring and coaching.
Ooh, elaborate on that. I know you haven't taken the course yet, but
no, I haven't. But as being the learner that I am, I've already read 1.5 of the textbooks, and well, I'm also working, so I've got to,
of course
you got to get ahead when you can.
Yeah.
But what they say is, so mentoring is really kind of a life. It's really an extended, lifelong kind of thing where you are exchanging, and I would be telling you, I would be very vulnerable. Here's my experience in this. Here's what I think works. Here's what I don't think works. So, there is a lot of, between the mentor and the mentee, there's a lot of vulnerability between the two, okay? Or there should be. But in coaching, basically they say, no, it's all about helping the other person come to their own conclusions and their own understanding of themselves by asking questions. So you ask a lot of questions, so you're kind of peeling back the onion, okay? And it's, a coach should not give their own opinion about something or direct you in any way, because who knows you better than yourself, and who knows what you want better than yourself, okay? So that's kind of, and so you got coaching, you got mentoring, and then you got counseling.
Okay.
So it's a whole nother level, and understanding that a mentor is not a counselor. Okay, there are certain things that a counselor is qualified to do that a mentor is not qualified to do. Okay, and coaching is different than both of those. So you try and stay away. As a coach, you're really trying to, but as a Christian coach, in the back of your mind, you're always asking and always directing, or not directing, but you're always asking um, with the intent of helping the person being coached understand, just like, what are my strengths?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's my purpose? Okay. What do I really want out of life? What goals do I really want? Okay. It's helping them understand how God designed them and how God and the purpose God has for their life without forcing scripture down their throat
Hmm.
and
Okay.
letting them come to a self-discovery,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
I think so. So the mentor role, to try and simplify it down a little bit, seems like the mentor role is almost like a partnership
It is.
where you
Yeah.
both agree
Yeah.
to grow and one person's 2 or 3 steps ahead,
Yes.
whereas maybe coaching is more of like a guide role
There you go.
and
Perfect.
like a personal leader almost.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
Okay, and so people should, generally speaking, it would be better to seek out mentorship generally. How do you know how do you know if you need coaching as opposed to mentorship, or what's the balance between them both? If you need both, or how to get them? I don't know if
Yeah, I know. Um, it's an interesting uh, conundrum.
mhm,
Uh,
perfect word.
you know, because not all mentors have the ability to coach. I would
Say
say
more on that.
that I think.
Mhm.
Now, I mean, because you know, unless your intent is to coach, okay, in the mentor relationship, most mentors are expressing their personal experience, their opinion on here's what I think you should do, here's what whatever. The coach does not.
Hmm.
Okay, the coach does not direct. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he's not telling you what to do. Um, it's more of a and as a mentor you could. Do I think that everybody is um, wired in that way? Again, is it your strength or not your strength?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it really comes back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, am I wired that way? Am I not wired that way?
Mm-hmm.
If you would have asked me about mentoring or coaching or anything like that when I was, 30 years ago, I'd have gone, yeah, right. It's like, no way,
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so, can a mentor be a coach? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I think they can. Can a coach be a mentor? No, absolutely not.